Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning is Bandula Jayasekara, our former diplomat and senior journalist, and appropriately dressed in blue. Good morning to you.
Brothers in blue are really back.
Indeed. Good. I'm glad to see you here, Bandula, as I always am.
Thank you.
And we are also joined here by the... I'll let you introduce our guest.
Parakram Basnayaka, who's the Deputy Director of Customs, and he's in charge of the Preventive Directorate of the Customs.
So very important role then. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsline. So let me ask you straight away this question. What is all this trouble, and the media and so on, and your customs officers are all upset about some import of Prados? Around 200. What's all this? What is that story?
Actually, that was a hot story. More than nearly 180 Prados been detected by the customs on a fraud, and later on, department has decided to recover the additional duties due and to release the Prados. That is what happened actually.
Yes, but unfortunately, under the powers probably vested in the minister, he has not. When you have a case of unlawful or deliberate under declaration, the customs ordinance provides for a fine. Now I am told that the fine has not been applied. The minister has written off the fine. Is that fair?
Actually, the thing is happened. That has been asked to recover the due revenue,
the maximum transacted value.
Now you are talking about the actual transacted value. That is not has yet been established.
So the investigation is still going on.
Yes, investigation can be done, because as a post-audit system, we can do the investigation.
But
if there is any fraud or something, we already released. But no need to keep the vehicles with that. We are having the documents. We can do the post-audit if there is any fraud involved.
No, but my question is this. Now you all have established, you all are looking into the fact that there was some under declaration, that you all don't agree with the transacted value. So you all have now said that I think the figure mentioned was about 1.6 million underpaid. So under the customs ordinance, if you have underpaid by that amount, there is a system to impose a fine, I think 3 times, including perhaps even forfeiture. So why hasn't this fine been applied?
The thing is, that should have been established. So without establishing, we can't impose a penalty.
Of course. So that means whilst the process is going through, then why is it that the minister has asked for these vehicles to be released? Surely he too should wait until the investigation is over, and then I think under section 163 he is able to, he is given the right to decide, but he must decide only after the investigation. Is that's what you're saying, right?
No, actually the minister is having the power to on 163 and 164 without he's having such a power. That is not a matter. But before that, the officers who are involved in this investigation must have established the value, or any fraud or any false declaration or any false document or something they have to establish.
We are told
without that we can't keep vehicles for so long.
No, that's true. But you all have this yellow, what is it called, the yellow book and so on, which gives you the different values. So obviously there appears to be some sort of fraud going on.
And is the minister in tow with this vehicle mafia? If you can't answer, please don't answer. We know you are a government official.
No,
but this
that
is
should have been answered from the minister actually.
Which we will. But what do you think?
No, as a government officer, I don't have much knowledge about that matter.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. Now you all have with these Prados, because it's a hot subject, you all have released the vehicles. Is there a system, is there a possibility that after the investigations are complete, that the customs can go back to them, to the importers, and impose a fine?
Actually, there is a system that is called post-auditing.
Right.
Post-auditing is going on.
That's going on.
Yeah, that's going on.
And will the customs officers involved, will they get their incentive from the fine, which is part of your customs ordinance? Will that get affected, or will they not get it?
No, not affected.
Not affected.
After the investigation has been finalized, they can get it their fine share. That's not a matter.
So that's not an issue that customs officers should.
We have to look at. Custom is basically not only the collecting revenue. Actually, we are in the process of trade facilitation also, and even the concern about the social protection and the enforcing the law.
But,
law enforcement.
Mr. Basnaki, now talking about trade facilitation, some countries like the United States, for example, before the container is loaded destined to their port, they want to know what's in it.
Correct.
Right? So in that context, and now we are in about the 68th year of independence, why is it that the customs has not been streamlined yet? Where are the containers, scanners and so on? Why don't we have that?
Oh, that's a very good question actually. Now we are going on that. Now we are come up to the electronic clearance, electronic devices we are using, including scanners. Now we are asking to import another scanners to the customs.
So I think the US government gave you two free
already. Now we are going to buy even more scanners.
Right. The two scanners you have at the moment are used for random checks, right?
Correct.
They are portable ones.
Yeah.
Mobile.
Mobile, and the one is stationed at the Grey Line Yard.
Right.
And we are doing both.
Are they in working order?
Sometimes it is. It cannot be say, because sometimes it will be malfunctions or something.
But is there any sabotage, you think?
Not actually sabotage. Actually, those are the electronic items we can deliver in such a way.
I'm told that there is a circular 1046 which asks you all not to detain and investigate. What does that mean?
I have to give a wide answer on that matter. They are not asking us to stop the investigation at all, actually. Now I am one of the head of the investigation unit also. It is under me in the preventive directorate. We are going the investigation without any hassle or best.
So how do you, if you don't detain it, that means you have to do it at the time of checking, is it?
No, that means the DOP said that when it is going through the customs, don't try to detain as a routine.
Right, okay.
But we can do the investigation. After the completion of the investigation, we can take out the container to our custody. That's a preventive custody. We can investigate on that.
Because the normal practice has been that all the containers are detained. Earlier.
Now we are not doing that, because this is the way we have to do. We have to ask this flow is going on. No, actually, normally we know there are most of the importers are genuine. Most of the importers. The very few people are doing such a bad thing.
Yes, but, and that's right. Out of all the businesses and so on, the business in drugs and the importation of drugs is not done by everybody. It's done by very few people. So don't you think that the chances of their containers full of heroin or whatever it is now easier for them to bypass the customs checks?
I have to say 50-50. That means we are now developing our intelligence and risk management. Intelligence and risk management is the main feature of our investigation. We are based on that and in addition to that, we are getting the information from the public also. Public also interested to give the information to us. Basically, we are analyze all these things and to detain the containers whatever we need.
Parakrama, the public can play a very important role. We gave the numbers also to help them.
Even they can have a fine share also. Once they gave the information, we are giving them fine share.
Right.
Because of the information share.
Okay, so like an incentive.
Incentive.
We had a question from one of our viewers who wanted to know how much can a top customs official earn in any 1 year. What's the answer to that question?
Actually, it is sensitive matter. It's difficult to answer because the officers are not restricted to do the investigation. They can do the investigation.
Right.
Some investigations are very big and large. That means the penalty is being imposed.
I was following a case. In fact, I wrote about it. So I think it's all right if I mention it, isn't it, Bandula? In which there was a fraud or alleged fraud about the duties and so on that were evaded by a company building fast attack aircraft for the Navy. But what fascinated me about that was the amount in question was more than $500 million. It was about 526 million rupees. So technically, if we take 50% of that, that customs team can share in around 280 million.
Yes, it may be. But that case is still in the Supreme Court. So, therefore, I can't explain anything.
So there are so many delays because
so many delays
so,
because of finalized.
So then, Mr. Basnaike, is that the reason why everybody I meet, or especially these young people, they'll say, "I want a government job, and I want a job in customs." Is that because they make so much of money?
Actually, that is one of the reasons. But on the other case, there must be a qualified person to come into the customs. As I said earlier, it is the main reason to come into the customs stream.
Right.
Not only the money, we have to think about the other side. Custom officer must be a qualified person.
The investigative ability is needed to join the customs.
Indeed. Now I'm about to ask that question. I want to probably more viewers will phone us. Please phone, call us, email us, look us up on Facebook, on Twitter, and so on. Now let me ask this question. I helped with a book called The Rich List. We listed all the rich people and the known rich people. And one person said to me, a rich man who's in the book, he said, "You have missed out 3 sections here." He said, "Where are the rich doctors? Where are the rich lawyers?" And he said, "Where are the customs people?" I said, "Are they rich?" He said, "Of course they're rich." And so I want to know how all these customs officers, they're all retiring in Australia and New Zealand and all that. Are you rich?
No, actually, I'm a simple custom officer. Actually,
how many houses do you own in Colombo 7?
I don't have a single house in
Colombo 7.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with all your money? Does your wife know how much money you've got?
No, it's a serious question. Actually,
you can answer.
My
doesn't know.
My wife is always with me. She is watching, and I have a transparency.
When is the last time you made a big detection?
I made a lot of detections, especially on the airport.
Were you
in that
there?
period, I have detected very big cases in gold and foreign currency. That
So
is
people are
amounting
importing-
sometime in it might be a very big amount.
So that they're importing gold and trying to take foreign currency out.
Foreign currency out. That's a normal. We are calling undial. The foreign currency transaction we are calling normally undial.
Yeah.
In that period, I was in the airport. I have a very good information system. Everyone like to come and to meet me and give the information very clearly. They are involved these matters personally. They are coming and give the full details. No need to hustle bustle, and we are going very easily get caught the persons.
So you get information from people.
Very much.
I'm fascinated as to how does a customs officer know that there are hundreds of people who pass through customs every day. How do you know that person there is looking a bit suspicious?
That's a very good question. We have trained our officers to detect the suspected personnel by way of their walking, by way of their body language.
Body language, yeah.
We are using that body language. And also, in addition to that, we are getting the information, especially flight crew, or especially other passengers, especially for other society, especially for
like the passengers, if they are like suspicious,
airport officers, they are giving the information because they are getting the money, no?
Yeah.
Therefore, they don't know.
But very interesting, Parakram. Even the flight crew.
Yeah.
How would they know?
They are the one of the good source for the information.
Don't ever speak to the flight crew again for us.
No, I should bear that in mind. On that note, we'll take a short break and come back to you and continue this discussion with this most interesting gentleman from the customs this morning. Stay tuned.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali. Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
Here by Mr. Parakrama Basnaika, who's in charge of preventive. One of the things I notice in your job is that you prevent these radioactive stuff from coming in.
Yeah, that is a very good area we have to explain. Now we are having a special unit, it is called Megaport Surveillance Unit. Now we can prevent Sri Lanka from the nuclear threat. Normally we are detecting, already detected 7 containers which are having radioactive materials. Normally we are calling CX-173. These containers came here from Japan.
Right.
Consisting used spare parts.
Right.
We have detected these containers and sent them out. Free shipping.
Yeah. So, Mr. Basnaika, now how does used car spares, how do they become toxic?
If it is close to the proximity of the, what do you call,
Hiroshima.
Not Hiroshima, that is, I forget the name, in Tokyo.
In Tokyo, yeah. The recent.
Very recent. And that can be easily contaminated with the radioactive materials. Once they remove these type of a thing, especially on generators and radiators like that, it is called Fukushima.
Yeah, Fukushima.
I see.
Yeah.
But also sometime ago, remember, I don't know, we were equipped at that time using the Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
There was some milk food and there were issues in this country. I don't think we were equipped to detect at that time, right?
At that time we don't have much sophisticated equipment. Now this is now really developed and we can detect it now without a single radioactive material coming to Sri Lanka.
Who's your minister? The customs comes under
finance.
So, but now coming back, you said that under some regulation the minister can interfere. So, isn't that political interference?
No. Actually, I have to reject that because I was there for more than 25 years now. No matter to me because I am doing investigation all the way.
No political. What about that? Like
interference.
viewer wants to know about that. The former Prime Minister D. Mujaratna secretary had written. What happened?
What was that? What happened?
No, actually, that was one of the biggest drug case in Sri Lanka inside the container consisting drugs. And at that time we heard about that it is simply they have sent a letter coordinating secretary of one of the
US, the former Prime Minister.
But after the handing over the case to the Police Narcotic Bureau, we don't know about after that.
So did you summon that secretary? Did you all summon?
No need to summon because we just want to finalize the inquiry with regard to the narcotics. Nothing else other than that. We have to hand over the stuff with the file to the police.
I want to ask you this question. You might want to answer it wisely. How much of a nuisance are these retired customs officers to you as a serving customs officer? Because I'm told that a number of retired customs officers, having enjoyed all the benefits of being a customs officer, like all these incentives and so on, when they are in retirement, they go and they're joining the opposition. They join the government as advisors, and then they start tinkering with the ordinance. which is then affecting serving customs officers, the young fellows who are trying to make their mark. How much of a nuisance are these retired customs officers?
Who becomes consultants?
Who become consultants and advisors and so on.
That is their privacy. I think
Yes.
I can't comment on that matter actually.
But have they interfered with your work?
I can't comment on this.
Why, you want to
actually.
be diplomatic and not hurt them, or why is that?
No, it is. I thought on the other way, that is a personal matter on their believing and thinking.
Yeah, but they then like
It's a bit like this. It's a bit like when you're at one point in life, you enjoy having ice creams and sweets and all the chocolates and all that, and then suddenly you say, right, that's bad for me, and then you don't buy them, so your children don't get them, your wife doesn't get them, your friends don't get it, but you've enjoyed it. You've taken all the benefits, and now you say, no, well, let's do it there, and let's do it here, and let's do that. So how much of a nuisance are these retired customs officers?
They are a nuisance, right?
They are nuisance.
Yeah, so that's it.
Right, I know a retired person who's now an advisor. I should give the doctor a call and ask him how he's doing.
I would have met him. He's a doctor. Means if he's a doctor, I would
His
have met him.
title is a doctor.
He got-
A jolly good G he was. But by and large, what do you do to these people who you detect? You've got this ability to detect somebody. That Harshana is the guy who looks a bit dodgy. So you've realized that, and you stop him. And he's got, instead of having 1.5 bottles, he's got 5 bottles, and he's got a carton of cigarettes which he's not supposed to have. What do you do to people like that? I'm talking about the ordinary people.
Once it is in ordinary people,
Yeah.
then the supervising officer is having authority
Yeah.
to use the discretion power.
Right.
If there is a genuine, if there is a pathetic situation or something, he can get a decision.
Well, his pathetic situation will
Pathetic
be that
situation
my
is some-
sister's getting
no,
married, and I need 6 bottles of whiskey, and I'm only allowed to bring
No,
one bottle.
I'm not talking about the whiskey and all.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the medicine and all these.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
In some certain conditions, we know some students, they are taking some skeleton out of the country.
Yeah.
Oh.
That has not been permitted.
Right.
But they are taking these for education purposes.
Right.
Especially on the Manipal University.
Yeah.
They are taking, that is a noble practice. Customs knew about this matter, but they are not taking much serious.
So they let them take it.
Let them to take it out because of the goodness, education purposes. Such a things can be happen.
What happens to the bottles of whiskey, Mr. Basnaik? I want to know that. What happens to the whiskey?
You're always asking about whiskies and cigarettes.
No, see, that's a general
Yeah, that is
thing.
generally.
Yeah.
We can't give the explanation on that matter.
So you
We have to-
confiscate them?
Yeah, we have to ask them. You have to return the bottles to the duty-free shop, or any
it in
other
the
action we have to take. Put it into the dustbin. We can't allow.
You don't put it in the
according
dustbin?
to the law.
Yes, but is there a facility, a room with a table and some bites so the guy can drink his bottle?
That is out of our.
Can't your public relations section provide that? I'm sure you can do that. But coming back now, your January 26th is the International Customs Day, and they are going to have a bonfire at Golface Green. You should explain that to our
actually,
viewers.
that's a very big event. It is now we are staging into the Golface Green. We have detected a container came from Kenya to Dubai, transit in Sri Lanka. At that time, our intelligence find out there was illegal wildlife trafficking inside this container. And later on, we find out that they have declared to the customs as a polythene based.
Right.
And when we examined the container, we could find out 359 numbers of ivory
Tusks.
inside, ivory tusks inside the African elephants, and it is worth, I think, more than 4,000 million.
How
It's a
did
big
you all
amount.
detect it? Was it because of the route of the vessel? It came from Africa?
Kenya, Mombasa to Colombo, Colombo to Dubai.
That's odd route.
Yeah, no, not the odd route. Normally, transit points in Sri Lanka and Malaysia, KL, those are the places mostly they are transiting. That can be happen. It is a normal route, but intelligence is very much powerful in normally.
Who was the receiving party?
receiving party is Dubai.
Dubai who? I mean, like some rich sheikh or?
No. That should be go to China. I think
Yeah.
it is my point of view as an investigation officer. I think it should be go to the China.
From Dubai to China.
Dubai to China.
So you are going to set this on fire?
Yeah. Not fire actually.
Then?
We want to demolish and we want to
Demolish
crash
it?
it in there, and
the
later on
presence
we have
of
to
the
send
President
them to
and the Prime
send
Minister.
to the
We've
burning.
got a question from a viewer. Says, do you have to destroy this ivory? Now that it is there, why can't you all retain it in some museum or something like that? What's the problem? Why can't you do that?
The one thing, the law is not permitted to that, because after detecting the illegal wildlife trafficking of fauna and flora, there is no value. After the detecting this matter, that value is come into zero. Though it is so much of value, it will come into zero. That is the law says, and we have to do the destruction. Because of that, it should be in transparency.
So
We
you
have
will
to
destroy in the presence of the President and the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Why can't our dear Finance Minister issue a directive? He doesn't have powers, release them like what he did to the vehicles.
Under
I'm sure he
163
can
and
do that.
64, can't you say, okay,
Release, give it.
give it?
I'm sure the Finance
That
Minister
has-
And
can
all the
do that.
temples in this country and all the people who like to have these things from historical times, because then at least, okay, it was done bad in the beginning by poaching, but now that it's done, can't we save it from destruction?
No, actually we can't save this destruction, because the world is looking at this type of a things. This is under CITES. 183 countries signed this document. Sometimes we are calling this is the Washington Agreement, Washington Treaty.
Yes, but now President Daniel Arap Moi, the former president of Kenya, he also had a big tamasha, and he set fire very famously to a big pile of ivory.
Yeah.
But now, several years after he has left office, now again you're telling us that there's another pile that has been detected, and we are going to have a tamasha and we are going to destroy it. So the problem of poaching of ivory has not gone away.
Yeah, actually that is going on. That means African elephants will be vanished in the
They'll be destroyed.
They are being
That is
endangered.
that's a very much danger. That's what the CITES want to give this type of a things.
How much are you going to spend on this, destroying this bonfire thing at Golfers Green in the presence of the leaders?
That is an international event.
It's an international event.
Yeah, it is an international event actually. All the diplomatic people in Sri Lanka have been invited into this matter.
Will my friend be invited?
Yeah, and we can do it. And the Secretary General of CITES also come into Sri Lanka, and the Interpol
Wonderful.
also presents.
It's been a very interesting morning listening to you, Mr. Basnaika, and actually I hope you got permission from your Director General,
Yes.
because you have a customs spokesperson, Mr. Leslie Garmini, will be very unhappy if you haven't got permission, and we have nothing to do with this, okay? So, but thank you very much for coming here, and we look forward to having you back on our network again soon. And I hope you won't get into trouble with your wife about the money that you have.
Or not declared.
And not declared to your wife.
Thank you very much.
And Bandara, thank you very much
Thank you
for
very
joining
much.
us. And talk for the day. If you wait until you are ready, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. On that note, thank you for watching Newsline. Take care and God bless.